Battlefield 4 was released 11 years ago in 2013. I cannot believe it has been that long. And it was badass then, and to be honest, it's quite badass now. And I have to be said that it is still very, very, very active online. You will never not find servers with people in it and games going on everywhere. And I mean, this might just be me, just a casual observer, but there were a lot of Russians on this game. Like, a lot of Russians. So I was quite shocked at that. I thought they were currently in the middle of, they were pretty busy in real life, but never mind, everyone's entitled to play video games, so go nuts. But Battlefield 4, is it worth grabbing in 2024? Absolutely. I just saw recently it was £3.50 or whatever it was on Steam. That's an absolute steal of a price. The game also has a campaign, a single player campaign, in a multiplayer popular first person shooter. They're just not there no more. Well, I know Call of Duty Black Ops 6 has just come out with one, but for a time there, they just were not there. But the multiplayer is still really fun on Battlefield 4, because what you do not get is people slide cancelling, omni jumping around and whatnot. That doesn't happen. The only thing that will happen is, if you're just starting out, you will get railed by people who have unlocked better attachments for their guns and stuff already. So you'll just get absolutely railed by them. But for the most part, you can pull off some pretty cool stuff. I like playing as the engineer, because I've unlocked the Stinger missile, which you do unlock pretty early. It's because helicopters do my absolute Sweden, and some people are godlike in the helicopters, and they'll just come along and just obliterate you just for existing. You spawn, you breathe, they kill you. But and the tanks as well. Like I think in this footage, I seriously cannot remember the footage I capture. I'm so old and crusty when it comes to that kind of thing, but I'm fairly certain I had a bit of a tussle with a tank where I wound up stealing it and then blowing up the dude and then getting blown up by a plane. But that's Battlefield in a nutshell. It's a ton of fun, and also, just in case anybody was wondering, it works perfectly on the Steam Deck. You can have solid 60 frames per second with a mix of a lot of things on low and medium and high, but because the resolution is so small for the Steam Deck OLED, the game looks fantastic. The only problem is that you do not have aim assist on Steam Deck, so you need to be either very, very good with using thumbsticks for aiming accurately, because I put it on the Steam Deck, I was having a great time, but unfortunately a guy was really close to me and they started running around to avoid my shooting, and I embarrassed myself because I'm not that good without the aim assist on the thumbsticks. Mouse and keyboard, he'd have been dead. I'll tell you now, he'd have been a dead man. But but because I was using the Steam Deck, I just embarrassed myself. So I've uninstalled it from the Steam Deck because I don't want to embarrass myself like that any further. But there's a ton of awesome maps in Battlefield 4. A lot of really good stuff. They're large maps, of course. They're all destructible. The buildings are fully destructible. There are loads of weapon attachments to unlock, camouflage skins to unlock and whatnot for your guns. There's loads of things. Well, there's just loads. There's absolutely loads for you to work towards and unlock and rank up in Battlefield 4. It's definitely worth playing now. I don't know if Battlefield 3 is, but definitely Battlefield 4. And I just recently heard that they're shutting down, or have shut down, the servers for the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 servers of Battlefield 3, I believe. So I don't know if Battlefield 4 was... Yes, it was. So yes, I'm Battlefield 4. So I would not recommend getting Battlefield 4 for multiplayer on obviously the older consoles. I wouldn't even get it on PlayStation 4 if you have a PS4, unfortunately. Unless you just want to ride out the next last year. But if you're on PC, I don't think they'll shut the servers down anytime soon anyway. Servers on PC games tend to stay open forever and a day for the most part, because they're always populated. Evidently by a lot of people from over a Eurasia area, you know. This one's really cool because you don't spawn in the tanks and stuff. You have to spawn and then get into the vehicles. You can spawn into vehicles with your squad that are already in vehicles, of course, but this Battlefield 4 is just really, really good. I will be honest now. I'm not going to blow smoke up your ass. I don't think I've ever played the campaign. But it is there, so if I ever want to play it, I will. And I probably will do, to be honest. But for the most part, I'm quite happy with the multiplayer, because it costs £3.50, so I'm quite happy to just hop on, do a few rounds in the multiplayer, have a great time, and then hop back off again. I honestly can't recommend it enough. I think I've made a video on this before, was it worth it, a couple of years ago, and it was then, it still is now. Battlefield 4 is damn awesome, and if it's £3.50, just buy it on Steam, of course. You know, where the servers are still open. But even then, for the main single-player campaign for £3.50, you can't go wrong. But let me know down below if you're a Battlefield 4 veteran or if you're someone who's never checked it out before. I think you should. It's a nice nostalgic. It's over a decade old now, so it's just nice to play it without people. I mean, don't get me wrong, there are people who are really good at it. There are some snipers out there that just, well, they will take your head off if they can see just an inch of your hair. But nobody's doing supremely sweaty stuff, you know, because you can't. The game's mechanics don't allow it. That's also why I like playing How I Let Loose, because the game mechanics do not allow you to be supremely sweaty. But please let me know what you think down below, and as always, thank you very much for watching.